Joining us next on the Marmy Rock Show, a band that's no stranger to the rock show. They are Behind the Gray out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Their new record, Treason, just came out yesterday as we record this interview, and they got a big night ahead of them tonight. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So I mentioned you have a big night tonight, so why don't you let folks know what's going on tonight with Behind the Gray?
We are doing our release show for Treason. It's part of the Electric City Music Conference. There's 5 other bands playing tonight with us. We've got Red Hymns, The Hill You Die On, Toothless, They're in the Woods, and Rawway.
So, we're no stranger to your band. We listened to your previous album, Through the Grip of Tyrants, but tell us about the journey of making this new record, how long it's been in the works, and where it was recorded and all that good stuff.
It's really pretty much been in the works since when we were writing for Tyrants. Basically, how it came about, we got, 2 new members, and we needed to get something out with the new lineup, and we just went into the studio, did some pre-production, and decided which songs we wanted to put out, and we put them out. We recorded it at Side B Studios in Dorrance, where we actually recorded Tyrants at, so that was nice to be back in the same spot.
Now, you mentioned you had a new lineup, 2 new members, so tell folks a little bit about how this lineup came together and how you guys found each other.
I'm Grant. I'm the new bass player. I've pretty much known all these guys since high school. We were playing, high school talent shows to 4 teenage girls who were uninterested. So from then to now is such a wonderful thing to finally be able, it's just something that you're going to end up with your best friends, You couldn't ask for more. So it's just a natural thing. Once they had a spot available, I jumped right on it.
Now, were the bands you guys were coming from together, were you stylistically the same kind of music, or are you guys a band that's coming together from, different genres?
We don't speak about those previous bands ever.
Not so much the bands. I just meant your roots stylistically.
I don't think we've made dramatic jumps between our careers and our growing. But, you gotta expand. You gotta see what else is out there. But I think this is all where we belong.
So we've added the tune Treason to our Golden Dozen, so, I'm sure you guys probably all played a hand in that. Tell us a little bit about the writing of that tune and what that tune's about.
It's pretty much a basic concept. Treason itself is, you're basically, we go through life meeting so many different people throughout our lifetime, and, you have good people, you're bad people.
You're fine. We believe it.
But yeah, basically what it comes down to is, as you grow older, you kind of realize who to keep in your life, who to, eventually get rid of. I'm
prioritizing your friendships. Yeah. Pretty much.
So tell me a little bit, stylistically, we listened to, of course, we love Through the Grip of Tyrants. Do you feel like the band now, talk about the evolution of the band. What is different about this album possibly than the previous release?
It's definitely heavier. Definitely a little bit more technical.
I would say, definitely heavier, kind of almost a little more of a progressive twist to it. We've definitely been experimenting with a lot more since the new lineup has been in effect.
I think it has a more positive vibe, actually. I love Dom's lyrics and how there's all this air of hope and everything. Even if he says something that is negative, you can understand the positive spin that he's trying to put on it and the desire for it to not be negative anymore. And I'm a big fan of that personally.
So, I've had the pleasure of seeing you guys live several times, and you got a kind of cool thing going. You kind of got this little trio of cities where you seem to be really welcome these days. If you draw a triangle between, it's not really a triangle, I guess, but between, Martinsburg, Virginia, Scranton, your hometown, and Harrisburg. So talk a little bit about those cities and the kind of support you're getting in that little kind of region there.
They've been really good markets for us, and it was just one of those situations where we knew a lot of buddy bands out there like Super Bob and Arming the Architect and all these other bands that were gracious enough to kind of be the heavy hitters in their town, and they let us come in and support them and let us grow our base there. and like just the fan response there and the support for like what we were trying to do musically has been so good. And we try and reciprocate those favors and bring like those guys to our hometown and introduce them to our crowd. So it's kind of like this cross pollination thing we had going. So you said it's like a big triangle of like recycling.
These are all three great music cities that I mentioned too. They're all places we travel to see shows. I don't get up to your hometown much though. So what's the rock scene like in Scranton, Pennsylvania? Is it a vibrant scene, or do you have to travel a lot to get your genre out there?
I think it's far better than anyone will admit if you corner them and just talk about it. Like, even the fact that this is the Electric City Music Conference that we're doing this weekend, like, there was an award ceremony where we recognized local musicians on Thursday, everybody in their respective genres, even cover bands, best live, we had a best fan award. Like, just to see all those fans and all those musicians in one place networking. And then you have the entire festival going all weekend where you can go to one bar and see this amazing lineup and then just walk right next door and see another one play in the same place. They're both packed. And, I think the only curse that we have is that we're a little negative. So a lot of people they don't like to admit how great that the music scene is. But I'm not going to be convinced otherwise. I love it here.
Absolutely.
So I was looking at the new artwork for the record today, and it's kind of an interesting, cool photograph or drawing, I guess you would say, on the cover. So tell me a little bit about the artwork and any meaning behind it and how you guys settled on that.
When we said like we were going to make Treason the single, it really resonated to make it like the title for the EP also, because really like as a band, we kind of went in this division of like we had such a big lineup change, like changing our lead singer and then changing like the lyrical content direction, replacing a founding member and our bass player, to bring Grant and everything in. There was almost this question in the air of like, are we kind of like betraying our fans by changing our sound? Are we kind of like turning our back on what we had tried to build by just pushing ourselves in a little bit of a new direction? So Treason really, really stuck out, and to kind of stare down that path, it was kind of like staring down the barrel of a gun. Like, someone could possibly pull the trigger on this, and, we don't really know how it's going to turn out till we put out the album and the music.
It's a cool record cover, man. I love that because, sometimes we lose that these days in the era of digital releases. Sometimes the covers go by the wayside, but I thought you guys did a nice job on that. So can we talk about a music video at all for this release? Or, I know that's really expensive, so the answer might be no or it might be yes, but have you guys talked about a music video?
We've always really wanted to do one, but like you said, it's very expensive. We've had a couple concept ideas that we're shooting around for like our second single. Whether it happens or not, we're trying to get some people and the right people in line in the pipeline to make it happen. So right now it's in that conceptual phase to work on our second single after, we get done with this weekend. And then it's inevitably something we really want to do because we feel like we have a really good story to go with the song.
So what are your, we're sitting here right on the crest of fall, and I know you have at least 6 shows or so on your schedule. What's your plan for the fall and the winter? Are you going to keep on playing live music, or are you going to keep on writing? What's the band's plan for the next, few months?
Right now we're going to just go out and support this EP as much as we can. Like you said, we're going to play the Triangle. We're going to be hitting Maryland. We're going to be hitting Virginia at the end of October. We're going to go back to Harrisburg to open for Moto Grader. We're going to just kind of hit the tri-state and try and push, the new EP out for all of fall. And then come first of the year, we're going to go back into the studio because we have the next record written. We're just going to actually track it over the winter to get it out by the spring, and all hopes and prayers.
So we love the new record Treason, and as I mentioned, we have added the song Treason to our Golden Dozen. I always like to get something a little personal out of the band members before we let you go. So do you guys, I always kind of joke with people, my guilty pleasure is like a little steel pulse reggae music, and you guys are a pretty heavy-hitting band. Do any of you have like a guilty pleasure you're willing to admit, a musical genre or some band that might shock us a little bit that you love?
All right, I got this covered, and you're going to want to Google them immediately. They're the happiest band. They're so sugar-frosted coating. I love them. They're called Steam-Powered Giraffe, and I love them, and I don't care what anybody says. You know Steam-Powered Giraffe? Yeah. Boom. Two people like Steam-Powered Giraffe.
I'm actually a very large Justin Timberlake fan, and I don't care who has a problem with it. Fight me. Like, I've always just wanted to take Justin Timberlake and throw him into a metal band. So, like, the heaviest possible music, I want, like, Meshuggah fronted by Justin Timberlake, and it'd be great.
Personally, I love Taylor Swift. Love her. Don't care. Also fight me.
I'd say for me, and actually I've seen her a couple times, Kelly Clarkson.
Oh.
And what's really cool about you guys answering that is I see it in you guys. Like I know you guys. I see you at shows, and I see it from bands that play all the time. A lot of that stigma of who you like and don't like goes away when you're just in the club and listening to good music. And I love seeing that from bands. So I'm glad you guys shared that with us. That was really cool here for that. Say the name of the other band again. The first answer I missed that.
Steam powered giraffe.
That's what I definitely got to go check out. So
I defy you to listen in a bad mood. Won't happen.
So hey, we've got Behind the Gray here. Where's the best place for people to go check out your music, guys? You want to go to your Facebook or website? Where do you want them to go?
Everything is the hub at BehindTheGrayMusic.com. We are on all the social media platforms, as far as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We keep them all rolling, so you can go there. But everything Behind the Gray comes up at BehindTheGrayMusic.com.
They are Behind the Gray. It is Grey, so don't Google it wrong. They're out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. Their new record, Treason, is out right now. Just came out this week. We have added the title track, Treason, to our Golden Dozen. They are ready to head out to their CD release show, so I'm going to let them go do that. Guys, we really appreciate you guys coming back on the show, and we're all going to keep on following you here on the Marmy Rock Show, and love seeing you guys play live.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.